Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the League of Europe. We are here for round number 12 around the Abu Dhabi circuit, the Yas Marina circuit, and I am looking forward to seeing how this one is going to go down. My name is Jaco, of course, taking you guys through this as always. RJ is unfortunately not here for tonight either, so it is just myself waffling on once again for the second week in a row. So get yourselves comfortable whilst watching along with this one. But as I say, it's going to be quite an exciting one for this weekend, purely because it's a sprint race for this evening. And we all know what sprints can happen with. There's one even actually going on this weekend in F1, ironically, over in USA. So across the pond in Abu Dhabi for Division 3, we thought, why not? We'll have a sprint race on this weekend. So, yeah, like I say, I think this is going to be quite an enjoyable one for certain. We are just waiting for one more person to join the lobby before we do end up going. But yeah, like I say, at the moment the championship standings are starting to sort of take a lot more shape. And what I mean by that is, our championship leader, Mr. White didn't end up actually scoring a point last week. He ended up finishing in P13, if I'm not mistaken, and Corley Kicker has promoted himself up into second position in the standings with 111 points. He's 19 points behind YHYY, and Farrell is 25 points behind YHYY after picking up third last week as well around Zandvoort. So, yeah, things are starting to take a bit more shape in terms of this championship. The top three, as I say, all separated by 25 points. They're all within that race-winning gap of YHYY. So it just takes one mistake with that as well. So, yeah, like I say, I think we're about to get straight underway. Whilst we are just waiting for that to happen, I'll read you out the rest of the standings as well. So Matt Tibos has actually promoted himself up onto P4 now after picking up fourth place last week. And of course, a win earlier on in Britain this season. He's on 87 points. Then you've got Jordan and MCR both tied on 83 points in 5th and 6th. In 7th is Connor O'Keefe with 80 points after DNF in last week out at Zandvoort. Not a very well. I don't think it was necessarily his fault in that last lap. I think, in fact, Rex actually got penalised for it. Hepula Boy is in P8 with 68 points. Mr. Valter in 9th with 66, and Rex in 10th with 64 points to his name. Let's say 15 drivers here for this evening. I just need to remind somebody that they have got themselves a quali ban, which is Harry F. Cool. So, I keep just going with the standings for yourselves as well. Campay is in 11th with 62 points. So, very, very close from 8th all the way down to P11. Lars is in 12th with 49. Unfortunately, not here for this evening. In 13th is Jay Hinks with 48. Crack in 14th with 43. Matt's in 15th with 23. Ryan B in the Mercedes in 16th with 21. Harry F in 17th with 12. With his teammate just behind him on 9 points with Ryan B. Old School, who's unfortunately left the league now, is on 8 points. Scuba is on 6 points to his name as well. Glowstick in 21st with 5. Sweet Ross in 22nd with 3. Stomper in 23rd with 1. Timon, Pole Post, Mr. Morello, and Mr. QVR Chill, who has now joined us in Division 3, is sitting at the very bottom with no points to their names at this present moment. But yeah, let's get this one underway. I think someone may have forgotten to put their setup on because the timer was already going as I loaded into the lobby. So at the moment, we are riding on board of Rex, who I think has actually just invalidated on his lap. No, he hasn't. He is still going. Harry F serving his qualifying ban, just driving the wrong way, which is as I have asked him to do. So that is nice to see. But the American now riding around turn number 4, if I'm not mistaken, on my corner numbers, and now coming down one of two long DRS straights all the way down to the first chicane, what would have been the second chicane on the old layout. On this newer layout, it is the first chicane, and again, it's very tricky to get that right, especially on exit, and where it goes very wide coming out of there. So that lap for him, he is slowing down just because he knows that he's being watched at the moment. So we'll go on board with Matt Tibos, currently on pole at the moment, and looking to set a very fast lap. Courtney Kicker, though, matching alongside him, the same with Connor O'Keefe. As to say, Matt Tibos sitting in 4th, he's put himself up into that contention for the championship. Of course, he's a little bit behind, but tonight would be a very good way to put himself into a championship contention for this evening, especially had a corner kicker, especially had a Farrell. One more corner left to go as he rounds turn number 16 now. Don't run it out too wide. He certainly doesn't. Up to the line. It's 22.4 for Matt Tibos, 22.6 for corner kicker, 22.8 for Jordan and for Farrell in third and fourth. MCR in fifth with 22.9. Cam Kate in sixth with a 23.0. Connor O'Keefe in seventh. Ryan B in the Red Bull in eighth. Matt's in ninth and White Y rounding out that top 10. Our championship leader sitting down in 10th position in the sprint. So that's a very good start for YHYY, but it can only get better for him. It's not the case. It's, well, I say it can only get better. It hopefully should get better for him. As Rex, yeah, there you go. It was the case. He did forget his setup. He was the one that ended up reading up. So that's nice. But yeah, like I say, Matt Tibos tucking it on pole for the sprint. We'll see how he's able to control that one with Cordy Kicker behind him, who's, again, probably the most informed driver at the moment in Division 3. Jordan in third, again, battling for that fourth place in the standings with Matt Tibos. Only sitting 4 points behind him. He wants to try and make a case for himself as well. Farrell in fourth with MCR in fifth. Cam Kate in sixth. Connor O'Keefe in seventh. Ryan B in the Red Bull in eighth. Matt in ninth with White Y around that top 10. Jay Hings in 11th with Hepula Boy in 12th. Rex and Crack in the Williams in 13th and 14th. And then Harry F, as I say, has a quali ban. So he'll be starting at the very back for the sprint race. Not necessarily a bad place to be starting or a bad place to be having a quali ban, especially in a sprint. If you think about it, the actual race itself is where you want to be. You don't really want a quali ban because you know you'll be starting at the back. It's difficult to try and make places up. Hope to scrape him within the top 12. Whereas in the sprint, even if you don't manage to, it's the top 10 get points for the sprint. So it goes from 10 all the way down to 1 for the top 10. But it then also boosts his qualifying opportunities. For Harry F, all he can go is forwards. He can't exactly go backwards because he's P15 out of 15. So he has the opportunity of being able to try get his way up the field. So we'll see if he's able to do that. But a few people over in chat. Rex is saying hit wrong button with me. That's me with no setup. And got good old Iverbryn Mike in the chat. So hello to you, my Welsh friend. Hope you are doing well. But let's have a look and see what everyone's opted to go on. I'm going to assume everyone's on the mediums. Everyone but Jay Hings. Very interesting. I can't deny. Done a little bit of practicing myself with this. The hard tyres, I think, are a lot better in the sprint in comparison to the mediums, which is weird because it's only a 10-lap race. But from what I've tried with this, those hard tyres, they seem to be better from about lap 5, lap 6 onwards in comparison to those mediums. The mediums drop off almost as quick as what the softs do. So Jay Hings going on the hards, I don't think that's a bad strategy whatsoever, and I think we might see Jay Hings move his way up in the field towards the latter stages of that race. As long as there's no safety cards, if there's a safety card, then it's really ruined the strategy. But if there are no safety cards, I think Jay Hings is in for a decent finishing position for this evening. So yeah, only time will tell. But like I say, Matt Tibos out on top and Cordy Kicker in second. I think it's going to make for quite a spicy sprint race. 10 laps around the Yas Marina circuit. Let me know in chat who you think is going to end up winning. Will it be Matt Tibos that takes a pole and takes the sprint race win to be pole position in the main race? Will it be Cordy Kicker managing to get past Matt Tibos and try and close that gap to our championship leader of YHYY down in 10th? Could it be Jordan? You know, the Scotsman picking up his first win of Division 3 for this season. Who knows? Could Farrell be the one that maybe makes his way through on that second row of the grid? Or could somebody else within this top 15 and see who is able to try and take the win for this evening? Everyone just making their way up towards the line now to line up in their grid slots for the first of two races for Abu Dhabi, of course, a sprint, and then the main race straight after this one. Of course, Matt Tibos on the left, Cordy Kicker on the right of our screens at the moment, and we'll see, as I say, who is the one that comes out on top. So here we go for the sprint race. We have now got the 5 red lights making their way on for Season X of League of Europe, round number 12. The lights are out and away they go. And it looks as if Matt Tibos has the best start of the lot of them so far. Coolie Kicker though lined up alongside him in towards turn 1. The second phase of that, Coolie Kicker had the much better exit. But Matt Tibos on the exit of turn number 1 trying to see if he can hold on to the lead of the race. He does manage to hold it down the inside of turn number 3. And Matt Tibos going to be able to still hold on to the lead. But Coolie Kicker still alongside him. Jordan as well trying to see if he can maybe try and defend the position from Farrell, the Scotsman versus the Irishman. Which is very good to see. But no, Matt Tibos has now just put himself behind Coolie Kicker. So Coolie Kicker now into the lead of the race. They're almost going to go 3 wide in towards the chicane. Jordan getting past Coolie Kicker as well on the straight. And Farrell also following suit. Farrell, in fact, going for the 2 moves now. Gets the move done on Jordan. And now up into P2. Coolie Kicker now down into 4th. And MCR and Kamke side by side of each other. In fact, I just saw MCR was just ghosted for a little bit. They're not sure what happened with that. Ryan beat in the Red Bull, though. Now also going down the inside of Cam. Leading up in towards a long looping left-hander. And I think Ryan B has managed to get that move done on the American. He certainly has. Cam has to back off of that one for the time being. But Farrell now alongside Jordan. And Jordan's now moving himself up into 2nd position as well. MCR getting the move done on Coolie Kicker through the triple right-handers. And what, not a place where you see people go side by side with. Has a little bit of a shove off on Coolie Kicker. And Ryan B is now going to try and capitalise on that as well. Trying to go around the outside of the double lefts. Again, that's a lot widened now in comparison to the last game and the last couple of years. And Ryan B doesn't manage to get the move done. Coolie Kicker though now down into 5th position. Started on the front row of the grid. Is now already down into 5th. Not a good start for the Dutchman trying to make a charge on his title contender. And speaking of his title contender, of Mr. YYY, he has not had a good start whatsoever. He is out of the points, down in 14th position. So not too sure what happened with YYY. We might be able to see straight after the race. But yeah, Matt Tibos and Jordan, very good getaways from the bear of both of them so far. Matt and Coolie Kicker again having a very nice battle there. Now Coolie Kicker trying to go a lot defensive in comparison. You're just going to see almost a snake formation. Everyone just moving out left and right behind the leaders. Rex gets the move done on Jay Hings, and Jay Hings now down into 12th. Conor O'Keefe and Kanke side by side through the chicane. Again, very difficult to go side by side through there, and Conor O'Keefe I think just manages to get a better traction in comparison to the American. The American though might be trying to use a little bit of his ER rest to see if he can get back past the Ferrari, but I don't think it's going to be to any avail, and I think Cam is going to have to stick behind Conor O'Keefe for the time being. So now down into 8th position for the American in the Alpine. Not a very good start for Cam, but again, it's only 2nd lap of 10 in the sprint. We'll see if he's able to maybe make up some more positions when the DRS does get enabled. But Farrell is all over the back of Jordan. And Jordan, he's not letting go of Matt Tibos. He's doing a very good job so far as a Scotsman. And I think he's definitely got a contention of a win for this evening. You can see he is absolutely pushing Matt Tibos left, right and centre all over the track. And seeing if he can try and find any way past the McLaren out in front of him. But so far Matt Tibos is the one that is still leading, taking charge. And now that DRS is going to be enabled, the top 3 already getting 1.2 seconds out ahead of MCR down in 4th. Of course, it was probably more due to Coolie Kicker just causing like a massive snake reaction after that first lap. But here we go. DRS is now going to be enabled for the Scotsman. Are we going to see him go for the move on Matt Tibos? We certainly are. This is for the lead of the race. Down the inside goes Jordan, and into the lead of the race for the Scotsman. He's now up into the lead. However, DRS again is going to be enabled, and this time it will be for Matt Tibos. So we might see a move go once again back past the Scotsman, and that is him now up into the lead of the race once again. There's a spinner at the back, that is Matt, now down into P13, make that P14 and make that P15. Not sure what happened with him there, but Coolie Kicker and Ryan B in the Red Bull both side by side going through the long looping left-hander, and Coolie Kicker manages to hold on to that position from Ryan B for the time being. But Coolie Kicker really has been struggling a lot in this race so far. I'm not sure what's happened with him, but he just doesn't seem to be comfortable on these medium compounder tyres. So not too sure what's happened with Coolie Kicker at the moment, but yeah, he does not seem to be enjoying his time at this present moment. Let's have a look at the ERS situation between the guys in the top 3. So they're all relatively even so far, as Mats has had a spin out of the double left-hander once again. So I think Mats' tyres are pretty much shot at the moment. But yeah, the top 3, ERS-wise, all relatively similar with each other. MCR is sitting probably a little bit extra ERS that he can use to maybe try and catch up to the guys in the top 3. Isn't going to be burning it for the moment though, because he knows he's got Coolie Kicker behind him, who's actually using a bit of his ERS to catch up to MCR, sorry, to see if he can maybe go for the move on the next DRS straight, but maybe a move going down on this straight is Conor O'Keefe down the inside of Ryan B in the Red Bull, and I think he has gotten that one done. He certainly has. Conor O'Keefe now up into 6th position. Who's going to get a better traction? No, I think Ryan B might have got just a little bit better traction, and they're both using their ERS. They both want to stay up ahead of one another, and at the moment Conor O'Keefe is doing what he needs to do to stay up ahead. MCR losing that position now to Coolie Kicker as well, and Coolie Kicker sort of just parking it on the long apex as he goes into the wall, and that's Coolie Kicker out of the sprint race. Is that going to cause a safety car? It certainly has caused a safety car. Mats, count your blessings there with Coolie Kicker causing that safety car, because he is now going to be able to catch up to the back end of the field. To be fair to Mats, if I was him, I could maybe see him pit on for the set of sauce and go to the end, because he'll be on the fresh sauce. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, very unfortunate for Coolie Kicker. I think he just got a bit too eager on the power to try and get up ahead of MCR, and that was that for Coolie Kicker. He's now unfortunately out of the race, and yeah, that's second place in the championship, potentially going to be going back the way of Farrell, as there's a few people that have pit, not just what I thought would have been Matt's. No, a few people have made a pit stop. Jay Hings, Hepler Boy, YHYY. I'm assuming we're going to see Matt's in as well. Yeah, we certainly are. So Matt's coming into the pits as well. Bottom 4 all going for a set of softs. Now this is where things are going to get a lot more intense. So are we going to see likes of Hepler Boy, likes of Jay Hings, likes of YHYY make their way up the field, especially the one that I'm looking at is YHYY. Again, a very poor start to his sprint. Now has been given a second lifeline to try and make up as many positions as he can, especially on these softs. He's got the opportunity now to try and make up as many positions and have a bit of damage control, considering that Farrell, as I said, is sitting in 3rd. Matt Tibos is sitting in 2nd. Jordan, I didn't even realise, managed to actually get him maintain his lead in this race on Matt Tibos. So yeah, we'll see if Jordan's able to we'll see what safety car restart the Scotsman does help to give us when the safety car does come in. It will probably be in at the next lap once Matt catches up. But yeah, again, 1st, 2nd and 3rd all sitting in 3rd, 4th and 5th in the standings. MCR is the one sitting in 6th in the standings, that's tied with 5th of Jordan, who's sitting in 1st. So yeah, all of these guys will be making a catch up. And same with Conor O'Keefe. Conor O'Keefe also making a catch up to YHYY with he's only, I think, 55 points behind YHYY as well. So yeah, it's up to YHYY to see what he's going to do on this safety car restart, of course, when we do get it restarted on the next lap. But I mean, so far, top 3, very good start from those guys. Coolie Kicker, as I said, did not have a good start, and I suppose that did drop that as well for yeah, sorry, it did drop it for Coolie Kicker, especially when he did drop it out of the long looping left-hander. So yeah, that's him out of the sprint. That's him starting in P15 in the main race. Not a good night so far for the Dutchman, but we've seen a Dutchman win it from P15 before. Who's to say it's not going to happen again for this evening? And to anyone that is, of course, watching this, instead of watching the F1 sprint shootout, I do applaud you, or is watching both of them, fair play. Because that is currently going on as we speak. But yeah, of course, whilst the safety car is out, I'll just have a quick watch of what's going on with that, and also just give you a quick update as to what is going on in Division 1. I did this, of course, last week as well, so let's have a look and see what is cracking on with Division 1 at this moment. Sweet Crown, or Ariel Valter, is the one that is leading, 8 tenths up ahead of Campbell, who also, ironically, have a safety car as well in Division 1. So yeah, nice to see that we're not the only ones that are having safety cars within the sprint. Of course, the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. I think that goes the same for Division 1 as well. Campbell in 2nd and Gene Russell, aka QVR Nathan, are your top 3 in Division 1. Montana in 4th and Jewel Green in 5th, and that'll be your top 5 for Division 1. If you want to check that out, can always go on the League of Europe channel and go through that way as well. I think that would be Mr. Oxide Nova is the one that is covering that. But when does Mr. Jordan JJT opt to go? Division 4 champion of last season. Of course, now leading Division 3 race. When are we going to see him go? Is it going to be out of this next corner? Is it going to be out of the last corner? Let's have a look and see. He's opted to go out of the penultimate corner. So Jordan has now opted to go. And he's caught Matt Tibos sleeping a little bit. He hasn't really gotten away too much from him. As I say that, though, out of the final corner, he's definitely made a bit more of a margin on that. As all that was Ryan B in the Red Bull almost going into the wall out of the final corner. But again, they're all following suit at the moment. All looking like a very clean restart so far. No one sort of being dropped. As I say that, though, Happy Boy already getting past Crack. Jay Hings also looking to see if he can get past Crack. And Crack has gone round. Don't know if he got tapped by Jay Hings or got tapped by White Troll. Why? Because White Troll looked like he went a bit wide. And now under pressure from Matt down into turn number 4. White Troll breaks it a lot later in comparison to the AlphaTauri. Hold it around the outside. Both still side by side as they make their way down the DRS straight. Of course, no DRS for the next 3 laps, or until the last lap, shall I say, as Farrell now looking to see if he can go down the inside of Matt Tibos in towards the chicane. The Irishman trying to see if he can hold it on the McLaren, and Matt Tibos just gets himself back past Farrell in the end. Farrell, I think, knew that he was not going to be able to get the move done, so just backed off of that one for the time being, and a lot of ERS being burnt by everybody. Conor O'Keefe now trying to go around the outside of MCR into the looping section. Matt Tibos and Farrell also side by side of each other, and Matt Tibos manages to hold on to that position. MCR holds on to the position ahead of Conor O'Keefe, and Ryan B holding on ahead of Cam K. Rex and Hepler again side by side coming through the triple right-hander, and no, I think Rex manages to get the move done. Oh, sorry, maintains his position from Hepler Boy. So Hepler Boy not able to make up the position, or taps the back of the American in the Williams, and again he's just trying to find any way past possible is the Finn, but not going to be able to find anything for the time being. But he needs to try and do this obviously in a clean manner, but needs to get past ASAP, otherwise the softs, well, they're just going to be ruined when it comes onto the last lap and not able to make any gains. Remember, League of Europe in the sprint, it's top 10 are the ones that end up getting points, as Crack picks up 3-second time penalty for going into the pits. So I'm sure that could be removed a bit later on. As I said, though, he retires from the session. Hepler Boy looking to see if he can maybe try and make a move on Rex again through turn number 4, but not move, no moves going for the time being. Hepler Boy not burning his ERS, but is catching him on the straights. Of course, slipstream, a very good factor in this game. As oh, that's not good from Rex. He's done that twice now in 2 weeks. Moves over to the right and causes Hepler Boy to spin from that one. Again, that's 2 weeks in a row we've seen him now do that, and that's not a good one for Rex. Again, we'll actually see a stewards report come after that one, as Jay Hings has managed to get the move done on Rex now as well. So Rex now down into P10, down, make that P11, dropping positions to the 2 soft runners, and the other soft runner of Matt's is just behind him as well. We've got just over 2 more laps left to go, and Jordan, he's now starting to get away from Matt Tibos, interestingly enough. So Jordan, I don't know where this pace has come from the Scotsman. I know he is quite handy around Abu Dhabi, but yeah, he is, well, he's had a very good safety car restart, and he's played the rest of these guys like an absolute fiddle. And Matt Tibos was almost out of ERS to that point as well. Rex is coming in the pits to retire from the session of the sprint. Not too sure why. I think he was in P11 at that point, so I'm not sure why he did end up retiring from the session, but I suppose that is what it is. But like I said, DRS is now going to be enabled for these last 2 laps. Jordan, 8/10 of a second up ahead of Matt Tibos. Unfortunately for him, Matt Tibos has managed to stay in the DRS, so he's going to be able to gain up to the back of the Scotsman. But Conor O'Keefe is looking to try and put pressure up on Farrell for P3. Conor O'Keefe almost going into the back of the Irishman in the Alfa Romeo. Doesn't manage to, which is good to see. But Jay Hings and Harry F now both side by side as well out of the chicane, as make that white try while getting the move done on him as well. And Matt might also try and follow suit. Jay Hings now up into P8 as Farrell has gotten the move done on Matt Tibos. In fact, they're still both side by side of each other. On the outside is Farrell to now have the inside for the triple rights. Don't think Matt Tibos is going to be able to hold on to that position, and they're both flashing red now as well. Farrell up into 2nd position, Matt Tibos into 3rd. And now, of course, Conor O'Keefe is probably going to be absolutely laughing at seeing the sight of those 2 flashing their red lights in front of Conor. So, yeah, I think he knows that there's an opportunity for him to try and get some sort of move done maybe into the next two DRS straights, of course, when they do come out with it. But we're now onto the final lap of the race, and at the moment, as I say, Jordan almost getting that 1 second gap up ahead of Farrell. I think he needs to just push a little bit extra to get that 1 second gap if he can. He's going to use a bit of his DRS, as I say, to try and push that gap, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. So they're still going to be within that DRS train, all stemming from Jordan all the way down to Matt's down in P11. Matt's side by side of Harry F, getting the move done. YHYY trying to go for the move on Jay Hinks, who's trying to go for the move on K. And I don't think we're going to see any moves go down with those guys, but they're 3 wide going down in towards the chicane. Make that 2 wide as Conor O'Keefe drifting it around that chicane. Farrell forces Conor O'Keefe off, and that allows Matt Tibos to go straight on through and get the move done on Farrell, getting the move done on Conor. Conor now, though, also trying to see if he can get through on not only Farrell, but on Matt Tibos once again around the outside. He's going to try and go. MCR has joined the fray and gotten the move done on Farrell himself. Conor O'Keefe goes very wide. They're 3 wide coming out of the loop. Farrell tried to hold it down the inside, and I think there's a bit too audacious from Farrell, and he's now gone around and going to be going towards the back end of the field. So it means Corley Kicker at least lives to see it another day, and same with YHYY. That's Ryan B, I think, that was going very, very wide through the double left-handers. Jay Hinks up to P5. Across the line, though, is going to be Jordan to take the win of the sprint and take pole position for the main race. Matt Tibos only dropping 1 position. Not a bad start for him, as that's a spinner out of the back. That's Matt's, who's absolutely bottled it coming out of the final corner, and he's starting in P12 despite making it up into P8 or P9 or something like that for Matt's. He's actually going to be starting the race down in P12, so absolute bottle from Matt's. But yeah, Jay Hinks, I said you need to watch out for him. And well, P5 for the main race, of course, after making that pit stop for the set of softs, worked like an absolute treat for him. But as I say, Jordan taking the win of the sprint race. Matt Tibos in second, with Conor O'Keefe in third, MCR in fourth, Jay Hinks in fifth, with Cam Kate in sixth, Ryan B in the Red Bull in seventh, with Harry F in eighth, Happy Boy in ninth, YHY rounding out the top 10. And if I'm not mistaken, I think YHY did pick up the fastest lap. No, it wasn't. It was actually Matt's. Matt's picked up the fastest lap. But he's not even in the top 10, so he doesn't pick up a point. Farrell in that last lap, P11. Matt's again also in that last lap in P12. And then our DNFers of Rex, Crack, and Corley Kicker, both the Williams retiring it into the pits. And Corley Kicker retiring it out on track. So yeah, this should build up for quite an interesting feature race. Jordan, though, like I say, very good start from him and kept it nice and consistent throughout. And it worked, like as I said, it worked a treat for him. So we'll see if he's able to maintain that pole position or if he's going to be challenged by Matt Tibos this time around. And Matt Tibos may be able to try and get back into the lead of the race like he was in the start of the sprint. But of course, also MCR moved his way up into, I think it was either P3 or P4. I think he got P4 in the end. Conor O'Keefe was the one that was P3. So yeah, we'll see if any of those two, because they were putting on a massive challenge to everybody else as well. I think it was MCR the one that got P3. So let's have a look then. No, it was MCR that did end up finishing P4 in that race. So yeah, fair play. So yeah, Conor O'Keefe in third, MCR in fourth, and Jay Hinks in fifth. The 2 Red Bulls of Ryan B and Harry F in seventh and eighth. Like I said, for Harry F, was not bad that the qualifying ban was in the sprint, purely because he's now up into P8. So it's worked out a treat for him. And of course, in this feature rate or the main race, it is the top 12 that will end up getting points as well. So let's have a look at what tyres everybody's opted to go on. There's a lot of different variations. Matt Tibos opted for the set of the softs with Cam K, with Rex, with Corley Kicker. Very interesting. Matt Tibos, I can understand being the only one on a set of the softs. The rest of the guys, bit interesting. And then on hards is Conor O'Keefe, Jay Hinks, and Crack. And then the rest of the guys are on a set of the mediums. Jordan obviously wants to try and get away as much as possible, but not as much as Matt Tibos, clearly. With Matt Tibos on a set of the soft compound of tyre. Everybody's just making their way up towards their grid now. Mike saying Farrell going to be fuming. He isn't starting in the top 3. I would also agree with that. Starting down in P11 for him. I don't think he's going to be too happy about that one for this evening. But we'll see how it ends up going. Jordan on the left. Matt Tibos on the right. For the main race now. For round number 12 of the League of Europe. The 5 red lights are on. They're out. And away the drivers go. And again, Jordan, very good start from him. Matt Tibos already getting pressured from Conor O'Keefe down in towards turn number 1. Jordan, though, absolutely flying off of the start. Kamke tried to make those softs work on the very start, but didn't manage to get past Jay Hings. And Jay Hings managing to maintain P5 for the time being. I don't think a lot of other changes went down as that was a spinner out of the back. That was Crack, who's had a spin and a contact with Cordy Kicker as well through turn number 3. Again, a lot of other changes going on, a lot of pressure, a lot of wheel banging going on. There's a virtual safety car as Crack has retired from the session out on track, and I think he actually just put it into the wall as he was trying to recover from himself. But I saw a lot of wheel banging going on. I don't know, I think that looked like that was from the likes of Farrell, the likes of Harry F, and White Shaw White. I don't know, it just looked like a lot of wheel banging was going on. And Hepnable, I think he was the one that got caught out the most from that, because he dropped down quite a few positions. But yeah, Crack out of the session now, first retiree of the main race for this evening. Let's have a look at the positions really quickly. Whilst the virtual safety car is out, yeah, White Shaw White and Farrell both gaining 2, Harry F losing 2, Rex gaining 2, Hepnable losing 3, Max losing 1, and Cordy Kicker, of course, started at the very back, but he was involved in that contact with Crack, so he is now, of course, quite significantly back from the rest of the grid. But we'll see when the virtual safety car does opt to finish, and then hopefully get this one straight back underway. It probably will be in a very short moment, but on the bright side for Cordy Kicker, he's managed to catch up an extra bit. As I say that, he's actually got a drive through for speed under the virtual safety car. So that, if I'm not mistaken, is probably his race done. As Jay Hings, in fact, on the virtual safety car restart, he's had a very good restart. He's gotten past Conor O'Keefe, now up into P4. Conor O'Keefe losing out of position at MCR at the lost that position at MCR at the start. Has now lost out another position, this time to Jay Hings. So yeah, Conor now really needs to try and get a bit more of a move on, especially considering that Jay Hings is also on a set of the hards. So yeah, they're both really going to be battling each other a lot for position. The race is going to come to the pair of them later on, as Jordan and Matt Tibos both side by side. In fact, Jordan, I think, is more just inclined to let Matt Tibos just run on free, as Cam also getting a move done on Conor O'Keefe. Now down through the chicane, Cam getting that car stopped just in time, and now wants to try and go for this move on Jay Hings. Jay Hings going very deep out of the exit of that chicane, and you can see the American trying to eye up a move on the AlphaTauri out in front. Goes for the move down the inside, uses the ERS and gets the move done. Same with Ryan B in the Red Bull, gets the move done on Conor O'Keefe. I think maybe Conor O'Keefe going to try and look for a switch back on it, but I don't think he is. Keeps that position. So P4 and P6 for both Ryan B and Cam K moving their way up. Conor O'Keefe dropping down quite a few positions off of that safety car restart zone. Not been a very good start for the Ferrari, but like I say, the race comes to him later on, and he's got the pressure now mounting on from our championship leader of YHYY down in P8. At the moment, though, Matt Tibos, very good start for him, 25.7 on, as I say, on the second lap. DRS, of course, is now going to be enabled, and don't forget, Matt Tibos is on a set of softs, so he wants to try and run away on those softs as much as possible in these first couple of laps, and at the moment, he's doing a very good job of that. But now that DRS is going to be enabled, it's going to be a lot trickier for him to try and get away from the Mercedes behind him, as MCR managing to stick with these guys as well, keeping himself in the DRS this time around rather than losing it out in that sprint race. Cordy Kicker, though, has actually, I didn't realise, made his way in to the pits and served his drive-through penalty. So he's now served that drive-through. Of course, he doesn't need to come in again and serve that at all, but he, of course, he will still need to make a pit stop whenever, obviously, he's opted to make that pit stop. As White Trial White, seeing if he can maybe go around the outside of Conor O'Keefe through the long looping left-hander. Think we might see our championship leader do it, although saying that, he's run out a little bit wide himself, and he is run out wide by Conor O'Keefe. Comes onto the track, bumps Farrell, and Farrell's gotten himself wing damage. So Farrell now Extra bit of wing damage for him. Tries to squeeze out YHYY with, of course, that front right end plate missing. And now Harry F trying to get a bit audacious on the Irishman as well. And I think he's actually got the move done. Farrell losing out to Rex and to Hepler Boy as well. Farrell, in fact, I think just letting those guys go and letting go Mats as well. So, yeah, bit of an unsafe rejoin from YHYY. Very unfortunate for Farrell. But again, Conor O'Keefe also forcing him out on the exit of that loop. But yeah, YHYY, I think that's more on him, the way that he just sort of came back on track straight into the path of Farrell. Needed to be a little bit more careful when doing that. But yeah, MCR, I don't think he's managed to actually catch DRS onto the back of the top two now. So yeah, he's lost that DRS. It's now up to the Spaniard to try and defend from Kamke and from Jay Higgs, who will both have that DRS on him. And in fact, won't even be able to do anything against Kamke using the ERS and the DRS. Move done for the American. Is Jay Higgs going to be able to try and follow suit? No, he does not. But Cam now going to try and see if he can keep himself in the DRS of those top two. Has been able to so far. So that's the main thing for Cam. But yeah, Cam really now needs to try and do whatever he can to stick within those top two. The softs though, they may start to go off roughly around now, maybe lap 5. It's where we'll see those softs start to have a bit more drop off in comparison to the mediums and to the hards, especially the hards. Mediums and the softs, I think, are very even in terms of their degradation from what I've seen anyway. As that's a massive tank slapper from Jay Higgs out of the double left-hander. I think he just about managed to save it from going in the wall. That was, wow, that was very well saved from him. And yeah, manages to hold on to P6. Lost that position out to Ryan B, but didn't manage to lose a wing or a wheel. So that's the main thing on that car. But interestingly enough, Farrell, where he's come out, is only just out in front of Cordy Kicker. And Cordy Kicker had that, of course, he had the collision with Crack at the start and the drive-through penalty. And Farrell coming out only just, as I say, out in front of the Haas driver. So a bit interesting. I think those two are probably hoping that there is a safety car up on the horizon. But I think we're going to see a move go down here for P4 as Ryan B looking to see if he can go down the inside of MCR, sorry, in towards the chicane. But I don't think we're going to see any move go down. As I said, I know he has a little bit of a tap with MCR. Lines him up next to the Spaniard, gets forced out. And I think Ryan B is still going to hold DRS to the back of MCR. Jay Higgs are also side by side of him. We're going to maybe go 3 wide in towards the looping left-hander. We certainly are going to be 3 wide going in towards the looping left-hander. Jay Higgs on the very outside. Ryan B on the inside. Gets a move done on MCR. Again, a little bit of a bump from him on the start of that chicane. And then got forced out by MCR. As I said, MCR now trying to go down the inside of the triple rights. And manages to get the move done. What a move that is from MCR. Again, another bit of a bump from there. These two getting a little bit scrappy, but it's very hard and very fair racing between them, keeping each other on the track. But yeah, MCR, very good move. Probably the move of the night for myself, and getting up back up into P4. The only problem though is that they now lost that DRS to Cam, and Cam has completely lost DRS to the top two, which suggests to me that the softs are going off, and that suggests to me that Jordan is going to start to put an immense amount of pressure now on Matt Tibos. But like I say, the mediums and the softs, the degradation on them are relatively even. So I'm quite surprised Cam has dropped off that much time to those top two. But here we go, MCR and Ryan B, the battle between these two once again. Is it going to be MCR getting them managing to hold on ahead of Ryan B, or is it going to be Ryan B getting the move done? He's around the outside. MCR's going to have the inside. Jay Higgs going to try and follow Ryan B, both side by side of each other. And I think MCR manages to break it just that little extra bit later. Turns in on Ryan B, though. Not the smartest thing from MCR. I think his head was completely hot as Jordan gets a move done on Matt Tibos for the lead of the race. But yeah, for MCR, I think his head was just completely hot. And yeah, I think Ryan B, you know, is entitled to the space there on the inside. And unfortunately for him, MCR has now gone around Ryan B, for spinning him around, is now down in the 10th position. Jay Higgs now up to 5th and all over the back of YHY. YHY actually was the one that capitalised from all of that, and now up into 4th position for our championship leader. But Cam, yeah, like I say, even though his tyres are completely dropped off, he's just minding his own business, and it's yeah, it's worked for him for the time being. Same with YHY. Both of these two have minded their own business, and they're now sitting in 3rd and 4th respectively. But now Cam is going to have an absolute charge on, or an absolute charge behind him of YHY, of Jay Higgs, of Conor O'Keefe. You know, all of these guys are all, as I say, they're going to absolutely push each other to the point where they'll start catching up to Cam, despite Cam, you know, being in no man's land. those softs are definitely gone off. And the thing is, Matt Tibbles is making them work quite nicely because he's managing to sit behind Jordan. So he's doing a nice job of just chilling behind the race leader at the moment. And I think we actually might even see a move go down in towards the chicane. We certainly are seeing a move go down in towards the chicane. Jordan just lets that one go because he knows he'll get the DRS on this next straight. Conor O'Keefe gets the move done on White Char White as well. Here we go then. DRS for Jordan. Are we going to see another lead change go down? I think we are. Jordan going to go around the outside of Matt Tibos in towards a long looping left-hander. Matt Tibos is just going to back off and sit behind the Scotsman. And that's him now up into the lead of the race once again. So Jordan now up into the lead. Matt Tibos down to second, Cam in the third. Jay Hings has got past White Char White, and Conor O'Keefe has also gotten past White Char White. So these mediums are now also starting to go off a bit more because Jay Hings is now only 1.3 seconds behind Cam K. So this is what I'm saying about the hard tyres. The hard tyres, they don't degrade as much or as easy as the hard, as the softs and as the mediums. And now only 1.2 seconds is Jay Hings. Again, I think Jay Hings is on form. It could potentially even be on for a podium for this evening. It just depends on when he does opt to make a pit stop. But he needs to get within that DRS of Cam K if he wants any shot of having a podium this evening. But yeah, I think the medium and the softs, degradation on those are now quite high, and I think we're going to see. I think we're going to start to see the hard runners enjoy their life a lot more on this circuit in comparison to the other runners. Even White Char White, he's almost lost that DRS to the two hard runners out in front of him. Jay Hings does manage to get himself within the DRS of Cam K. Ryan B getting past Rex. Matt Tibos has got past Jordan once again. We're going to see another repeat and go down of the same thing between these two. I think they're just helping each other along, mainly just to try and get away from everybody else. So DRS once again going to be wide open for Jordan, using that bit of ERS. Matt Tibos not going to try and fight this one, I don't think. Jordan can go down the inside of Matt Tibos, get the move done. And yeah, Matt Tibos not going to try and fight that one too hard. Just going to sit in behind Jordan once again. So Jordan back into the lead of this race. Another lead change and another swap go down between those two. It's White Char White putting that pressure on the Conor O'Keefe, coming through the triple right-hander, but backs off of that one, does our championship leader. As a lot of gaps have started to form a bit more. As I said, the top two, 2.6 seconds now out in front of Cam. Jay Hings is now all over the back of Cam K, and dragged along Conor O'Keefe and White Char White, Heplerboy and Harry F. So all five of those are now behind P3 of Cam K. As here we go, DRS now wide open for Jay Hings, and I think we're going to see a change go down for P3. You can just see how much he's closing up to the back of the American. Gets the move done up into third position now, and I think we're going to see Conor O'Keefe maybe also following through. No, we don't. Conor O'Keefe sits behind him for the time being, and yeah, I think Cam, there's not much else that he can really do, to be fair. He can just use a little bit of his ERS because you can see the red flashing light on the back of Jay Hings. I don't think he's going to go for the move on him because he knows those hard to significantly better. He's just got to try and stick with Jay Hings for as long as possible. The good thing for Cam is, again, he's just able to latch onto the DRS of Jay Hings, and this probably being one of the only places you can't exactly overtake very, very easily. So he's just happy to probably just sit behind Jay Hings for the time being. But it's just, when does Cam opt to pit? I would have thought it would be within the next couple of laps, as Conor O'Keefe going very, very wide out of turn number 15. Hopefully pick this up a warning for that, because we are monitoring the track limits around quite a few of the other quite a few of the turns here. Let me have a look at what turns it is that we're having a look at. 1 second. So through turn number 1, the exit of turn 1, as I say, it's very easy to go wide out of there. Through turn number 9, which is the long looping left-hander, where we've seen a few moves go down so far, as we might see another one actually about to go down. Conor O'Keefe maybe trying to go down the inside of Cam K in towards the chicane. No, Cam K, they're going to try to go down the inside of Jay Hings into the chicane. has a bit of a wobble on the entrance, on the braking, and here we go. Conor O'Keefe now looking to see if he can go for a switchback on the American. Both have their ERS on, both trying to see if they can maintain their position up ahead of one another, and they're both going to be catching up to Jay Hings at a rate of knots, but not going to be able to go for the move is Conor O'Keefe. White also seeing if he can maybe eye up a move on any of these guys as well, but just sits behind him for the time being. White just trying to play this a little bit extra patient, which I don't blame him, but he would need to go on a set of hards relatively soon. I reckon lap 13 is when we'll see the medium runners pit. Again, I'll be surprised if we don't see any of the soft runners in. And there we go, that's Matt Tibos into the pits. Cam K doesn't follow him in though, so Cam is staying out on these softs, interestingly enough. For some reason, he's actually quite comfortable on these softs, and yeah, he's just going to carry on going as he is at the moment. But now Cam, he's just about gotten DRS. However, I don't think that's going to last for very long, because Conor O'Keefe is all over the back of the American. He's using his ERS, Cam using his ERS, but has got the red flashing out on the back of his car. Conor O'Keefe down the inside, in towards the chicane. I don't think Cam can fight this one for too much longer. He's going to try and hold his nose there, but no, gets that door shut on him. Conor O'Keefe now up into third position, all over the back of Jay Hinks, and now White Y also going to go for the move on to Cam K as well. Going to opt to go around the outside, use a bit of his ERS as well. And White Y, I think, just took a bit too much curb on the entry there, and I think that's completely chucked him out on the looping section. So that means that he was not able to get the move done on Cam K, and surely we've got to see Cam come in at the end of this lap. Of course, the two hard runners out in front of him, you know, they're running quite nicely. I think those hards, again, they can probably go to maybe lap 19, lap 20 if they wanted to, but yeah, I think realistically, Cam, if I'm him, I'd definitely make a pit stop in this lap. And no, he's still opting to stay out for the time being. So I'm surprised we're not seeing Cam come in. And I think he's hindering his race more than anything. Maybe he's opting to go for a set of the mediums to go to the end. And maybe going to pit on like lap 13, lap 14. But yeah, that does surprise me if he is going to go for that. Here we go, the White Y, going to see if he can now go for this move on Cam K. Cam, no DRS to his name, as he's lost them out to the two hard runners. Locks up quite a bit going in towards the chicane. He's going to have the DRS back on White Y, so we might see the American go for the move once again on White Y, but just the traction he got off of that meant that it was a lot harder for him to catch back up, as Conor O'Keefe now getting the move done on Jay Hings. Up into second position now goes Conor O'Keefe. And now Conor up into second position. You can start to see he is gaining slightly now onto the back of Jordan because of those medium tyres. Jordan's still opting to stay out for the time being, and that was someone that made their way into the pits. I think that was Cam K finally making his way into the pits. He's realised he's dropped off too much time, and I'm surprised he didn't realise this earlier, but yeah, he's dropped off a lot of time. And now into the pits he goes. So going to opt to go for a set of the mediums to go to the end of the race. So yeah, 16 laps on those mediums is doable, but it's probably not the most ideal set to go on. As I think we might see Hepula Boy maybe go for a move on Harry F into towards the chicane. No, not going into towards the chicane. However, maybe, just maybe, as Ryan B in fact actually getting overtaken. One Red Bull getting overtaken, the other one managing to hold on for the time being. And Ryan B going to go for a bit more of a switchback on Matt, but just out in front. Hepler Boy going for the move on Harry F, and I think gets that move done. One Red Bull getting overtaken, the other one gets the move done. Harry F though, seeing if he can maybe go back down the inside of the Aston Martin. I don't think he's going to be able to, and sits behind him. So Hepler Boy now up into 5th position. Harry F now down to 6th. Ryan B now up to 7th, and Matt's now down to 8th position. But Matt Tibos, he's managed to get out ahead of MCR. Very key for him that he's managed to get ahead of MCR on those fresh hard tyres, because Jordan has now made his way into the pits for his pit stop. Harry F also joining the fray of coming into the pits, so it's going to be up to the other guys that have stayed out, the likes of White the likes of Hepler Boy, to see if they can try and go for an overcut on the other guys that are now going on to set the hards. But where's Matt Tibos coming out in all of this? He's significantly ahead of Jordan, so the soft start for him has really paid dividends. The only problem for him though is that he's on 3-lap older hards, so Jordan on the fresher hards towards the end of the race, I think, is where we're going to see Jordan put the absolute burners on and put the pace on. Still the battle for the lead going on between Jay Hings and Connor O'Keefe. At the moment, Connor O'Keefe still the one that is holding on up ahead of Jay Hings, with Jay Hings with DRS. Are we going to see a move go down in towards a long looping left-hander? I don't think Jay Hings is going to be close enough to go in for a move, so just going to sit behind him for the time being. Here we go. The other medium runners now making their way into the pits. White Hepler Boy and Ryan B all into the pits now. Just leaves the other hard runners of Connor O'Keefe and Jay Hings out on those hards. But where are these guys going to emerge? Matt Tibos has completely come out with just well out in front of the rest of those guys. Jordan as well. Cam K sitting in 5th. MCR picks up the first 3-second time penalty off the race. White he's going to emerge out just next to Farrell. They're both going to be side by side, and in fact White is going to be just out in front of Farrell. I think that's going to be absolutely devastating for Farrell. The one that broke his wing is the one that's sitting just out in front of him, as Hepler Boy all over the back of Harry F as well. Harry F has managed to get the move back done on Hepler Boy with the undercut, and manages to get himself within the DRS off Farrell, which is the main thing for him. But are we going to see any moves go down into the chicane? I don't think anything is going to be happening. As Ryan B trying to warm up his tyres, just swerving left and right. Doesn't realise that there's a car behind him off Matt's. I think, in fact, maybe he just let Matt go. Not sure what happened with that, because I saw, as I say, Ryan B was just sort of swerving left and right, and Matt's was behind him. So, not sure what that would have been about. But yeah, Ryan B now looking to see if he can put a charge on Matt. Goes for the move. Matt's though trying to maybe squeeze out Ryan B as much as possible, and Ryan B manages to get the move done on Matt. And now we're going to see Connor O'Keefe make his way into the pits, maybe chuck on a set of mediums and go to the end of the race. Jay Hings though has opted to stay out. Very interesting that the AlphaTauri has opted to stay out and not come in at the same time as Connor. I would have thought it made more sense for him to come in at the same time. Where does Connor emerge out in all of this? He's going to come out in front of Harry F and just behind YHYY. So that is a significant amount of time that's been lost, because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't YHYY about 1.8 seconds behind Connor O'Keefe? So yeah, with Connor coming out now behind him, surely Jay Hings on his in-lap, he needs to use as much as possible. He's using as much ERS as possible as well, as Hepler Boy getting a move done on Harry F once again, and Harry F now down into P9. Hepler Boy now up once again into 8th position. But yeah, Jay Hings needs to use everything as much as possible to get back, to try and minimalise the undercut from Connor O'Keefe. But I think we're going to see him come in, and he's actually picked himself up a 3-second time penalty for making his way into the pits. So, again, that's probably one that's going to be looked to be removed after this race, so long as Jay Hinks doesn't pick up another warning. If he does pick up another warning, then that's basically done for him. But he also needs to remember, if he does want to get removed, he needs to bring his race director, if that is the case. But yeah, Matt Tibbles now will emerge in the lead of this race, whereas Jay Hinks coming out in relation to everybody. You can see on the minimap he is coming out behind a lot of these guys. He's come out behind Harry F. He's come out in front of Farrell. Yeah, he's come out behind Harry F. And look at the distance between him and Connor O'Keefe. He was in his DRS before Connor O'Keefe opted to come into the pits. He's now 3.2 seconds behind Connor O'Keefe as White Show going for the move now on Rex, and I think Rex is not going to be the only one that's going to get overtaken from that. Connor O'Keefe also getting the move done on the American as Harry F gets the move back past on Hepula Boy, and Rex is having a little slide coming out of the chicane, and Connor O'Keefe now all over the back of White Show. Don't think White Show is going to be able to put too much of a fight up, especially on those fresh medium tyres. Up to P4 goes Connor O'Keefe. White Show now down into 5th position, and also setting the fastest second sector as well. Cam, interestingly, is almost within DRS of Jordan. However, of course, like I was saying before, those mediums, they do degrade almost at the same rate as what those softs do. So those mediums, I would have thought, would go off quite quickly. As there you go, Connor O'Keefe, fastest lap of the race so far. Cam has just about got himself within DRS of Jordan, if he's able to get there by the time they get to the detection zone, and I think he has. I think the American has done just enough to get himself within DRS of Jordan. So he's managed to claw his way back into it. Now it's up to Jordan to try and defend from Cam. Of course, Cam on those mediums, Jordan on the hards. Though Jordan, it should come a bit further up to him a little bit later on down the line, but yeah, for the time being, Cam on an absolute charge, on a mission to try and get back, get past Jordan for second position as Hepula Boy getting the move done on Rex. Harry F also just staying up ahead of Jay Hings for the time being. I'll go very wide out of that chicane. I think I'm surprised he wouldn't have gotten I'll be surprised if he didn't get a warning for that as well. There's a lot of other battles going down for P7. Harry F, Jay Hings, all over the back of Rex. And I think Rex under a significant amount of pressure as Jay Hings maybe looking to see if he can go down the inside of Harry F in towards turn number 1. Harry F shutting the door on Jay Hings, and Jay Hings is backing out of that one. Had to back out of that one, otherwise he was going carouseling around out of the first turn. But yeah, I think Jay Hings and Harry F, I think we're going to see a move go down on this DRS straight, as that's a spinner. That's Hepula Boy who spun it out of the out of turn number 4. I'm not sure what happened with him there, but Jay Hings now getting the move done on Harry F, getting the move done on Rex. Harry F gonna follow Jay Hings and get the move done on Rex as well, and Rex probably getting a little bit of a taste of his own medicine, getting forced out slightly by Harry F. Now down into P8 is the American, unfortunately for Rex, but again DRS for him. And you can see the red flashing light on the back of the Red Bull and the Alpha Tauri as well. He's not really got too much ERS to himself either. But if he can stay behind, then that's the main thing. As I didn't even realise Hepula Boy trying to go around the outside of Rex, and in fact actually gets a move done himself as well. So it's 3 positions that Rex has lost. Well, technically 2, because Hepula Boy was out in front already of Rex before he had that spin. So technically 2, but at the same time, it is definitely 3 positions that have been lost for Rex, from Jay Hings, from Harry F, and from Hepula Boy. So now down to P9. He needs to try and hold on and see if he can get himself within the top 12 to get himself at least a couple points finish for this evening. There's no moves sort of going down in towards the chicane, but I get the feeling we might see something go down in towards the looping section. Camcate all over the back of Jordan. No, he's not actually going to be close enough to going for any sort of move. So we turn our attention back to P7. Harry F versus Happy Boy. Happy Boy now trying to make up his positions once again. Harry F though manages to stay up ahead of Happy Boy and keep P8 for the time being. Camk though, as I say, still applying that pressure to Jordan, but it's now brought Connor O'Keefe and YHYY now into play on putting the pressure on the Scotsman. And Jordan is starting to now gain onto the back of Matt Tibos. That gap was about 5.9 when all the pit stops went down, maybe about 6.6. It's now down to 4.4, and Jordan, as I say, he's putting a charge on Matt Tibos. So Matt Tibos, I think, is going to start to struggle on these hards, probably within the next 2 to 3 laps, I'd want to say. Because at that time, then the tyres would have been degraded, and then it gives Jordan and the guys behind him, their extra laps as well of the non-degradation part to then catch up to Matt Tibos. I get the feeling towards the end of this race, we might see a spicy race lead. There's always something interesting that happened there. Jordan's connection might have just cost him P4. Might have cost him P3, sorry. Tagging the side of Cam as going in towards, or going down towards the chicane again. I don't think that was anybody's fault, just more down to connection issues. But yeah, Jordan was definitely the one that lagged on my screen. And Cam now getting overtaken by Connor O'Keefe. Connor O'Keefe now up into second position, 4 seconds behind Matt Tibos. Now the Ferrari is the one that is on an absolute charge. Jordan, unfortunately, losing out 2 positions. Cam didn't manage to make up a single position. He's managed to stay in P3. Even after overtaking Jordan, he gets overtaken by Connor O'Keefe. It's up 2 for Connor O'Keefe and down 2 for Jordan. Our pole sitter from the sprint race. As I say, down in 4th and now getting pressure put on from YHYY behind him. Just 8 more laps left to go. Matt Tibos still the one that is in the lead of this race. 3.5 seconds now, though, up ahead of Connor O'Keefe, and Connor is charging at him. He's in fact already gotten that 1 second gap up ahead of Camk. So Connor is, as I say, is absolutely tearing it up at the moment. And I think he's not going to be able to get the DRS away from Cam. As I said, I think he actually has. I don't think Cam picked up any DRS. No, he hasn't. So it's now Jordan. Jordan may actually go for a move on Cam. And in fact, yeah, that's now him up into 3rd position. Is YHYY also going to follow him? Don't think he is. Sits behind him for the time being. Was that a firework I just saw go off in the background there? It's a bit early for the fireworks. There's still another 8 laps left to go. As the 2 Red Bulls side by side of each other, both just having their own little battle. Into team rivalry going on, and Ryan B up ahead of Harry F as Farrell and MCR chopping and changing positions as well through the looping section. We've got Farrell holding it around the outside. Ryan B picks up a penalty with battling with his teammates, so that means that Harry F will at least get the jump up ahead of Ryan B. And Farrell now down into 13th position, not getting, getting overtaken now by MCR. So MCR now up into 12th, and Farrell now out of the points, but MCR has got that 3-second tyre penalty. Unless he picked that up going into the pits like Jay Hings did, then yeah, it might be a bit of a... He could potentially get that one removed, but again, we'll have to wait and see. DRS now wide open for Cam to try and go for this move back on Jordan. Of course, Cam has got quite a bit of ERS to play with. Jordan not really got much left on his plate ERS wise. I think the thing for Cam at the moment, he's just quite happy with sitting behind Jordan, because at least then he knows that it's not YHYY that's then getting out in front of him. There's now just over 5 laps remaining, and Conor O'Keefe has now brought that gap down to 2 seconds. You can see Matt Tibos in his sight. And yeah, I think a lead change could go down in the next 3 laps. The way that Conor O'Keefe has been catching Matt Tibos, I think it is about 3 laps time. We may see him catch up. Hopefully for him though, his tyres don't degrade, and that it basically null and voids the pace that he is bringing at the moment. But yeah, 1.9 seconds now separating the top 2. Jordan still holds on ahead of Cam K and ahead of YHYY, but I think we're going to see a different scenario now as they make their way towards the long looping left-hander. Is YHYY going to be using? He is using to get up and past Cam. Cam's going to be using to get past Jordan. They're going to go 3 wide in towards the looping left-hander. Cam down the inside, Jordan in the middle, YHYY on the outside. Jordan's going to hold it down the inside, gets some, maintains the position for YHYY, loses the position to Cam K though. Cam getting that position back off of Jordan, and YHYY going very deep, or going wide, sorry, out of the triple right-hander. So he's now picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. And now, unfortunately for Jordan, saying that, he's just had a nice little bit of lag there. Sticking into P4, which was very strange. As Harry F getting the move done on his teammate, again, through the double left-hander is very, very strange. But, yeah, YHYY now picking up that penalty. That's basically his chance of getting podium gone. Best he can now hope for is really P5, as Jay Hinks is now starting to catch up to these guys that are all battling here. Conor O'Keefe though, he can see Matt Tibos in his sight. He's doing everything he can to get within the DRS of Matt Tibos. He's using his last little bit of VRS to even try and get within the DRS of Matt Tibos. Jordan gets the move done on Cam now in for 3rd position. YHYY sticks his nose up on the inside there as well. Conor has got himself within the DRS of Matt Tibos. So we're now going to see the battle for the lead commence between Conor O'Keefe and between Matt Tibos. And we'll see who is the one that comes out on top. Cam not able to go for the move on Jordan once again, so he's going to have to stick behind him. YHYY also all over the back of these two, still battling it out. The 2 Red Bulls also still having an absolute joust between the pair of them. And at the moment, it's the one that is Harry F that is coming out on top of that. And especially with Ryan B's penalty, I don't really think Ryan B's going to be able to really do too much in terms of catching up to the other guys out in front of him. His best hope is that he just sits behind Harry F so that he can get away from Headpillar Boy. I suppose they're giving each other DRS to just, you know, get themselves or project themselves even further out in front of each other, or in front of Headpillar Boy, should I say. But what was a 3-car DRS train has now emerged to 4. Jay Hings has now got himself into the DRS of YHYY and now battling for that 3rd position. Of course, as I say, he has that 3-second time penalty, so it's going to hurt him just that extra bit more, as Conor O'Keefe now all over the back of Matt Tibos. Thought we might have seen a move go down in towards the chicane. Think we're going to see a move go down at the chicane with these guys though. Cam and YHYY side by side of each other going through the chicane now. YHYY going to have the inside, Cam down the outside. Both managing to keep it on track. Both still side by side of each other. I think YHYY was the one that got the DRS of all of them. No, none of them got DRS. It was the only one that did was Jordan. It must have been side by side, literally equal, going through the DRS detection, because Jordan's now made up 2 positions once again and back up into 3rd position. Ryan B now goes for the move once again on Harry F, and Harry F again now starting to struggle on his side. Conor O'Keefe didn't manage to get the move done on Matt Tibos. We've got just over 3 laps left to go now. Rex getting the move done on Matt's, and now this race is definitely starting to heat up. In fact, Rex now getting passed once again by Matt's. Matt's now back up into 10th position. So Matt's, I don't know what happened with that. I think maybe he just went a little bit too deep through the looping left, and yeah, it's now him back up into 10th position. MCR, as I say at the moment, picking up the final points position, but he has got the 3-second time penalty, and Farrell is managing to hold on to that 3 seconds. Just about 22 lap old hard tyres. I don't think they're really going to last to the end of the race. Oh, well, they could last to the end of the race, but I don't think he will stay within the 3 seconds behind MCR to the end of the race. And here we go. Finally, a lead change going down. Conor O'Keefe now out into the lead of the race. Matt Tibos giving him a little bit of a tap in the back. in towards the chicane. Hopefully for Matt Tibos, he didn't pick up any sort of wing damage. White gets the move done on Jordan through the chicane now. Matt Tibos is going to have that DRS back on Conor O'Keefe, and I think we might see... well, in fact, actually, Matt Tibos is just going to be happy sitting behind Conor O'Keefe for the time being. He knows that those mediums are probably going to go off soon. And so, with the amount of ERS that he's got, and you can see the red flashing light on the back of Conor O'Keefe's car, he knows he's got a chance of getting the move done on a DRS straight very, very soon. As YHYY got the move done on Jordan, and Jordan managed to hold on ahead of Cam K and ahead of Jay Hings. So, very good work on, very good work from him on being able to do that. Now onto the penultimate lap of round number 12. And it's definitely not over by any means. Conor O'Keefe has managed to get a little bit away from Matt Tibos, but not enough to the point where he's out of DRS. Matt, of course, is going to have the DRS onto the back of Conor. And I think we're going to see Matt just again happily sit behind him for the time being, as Cam's actually lost a position to Jay Hings going through the long swooping left-hander. So Cam must really be struggling on those medium tyres now. And in fact, I think we're going to see the American try and get for revenge on Jay Hings going down in towards the chicane. He's using the ERS. They're both using their ERS as much as possible. Cam, though, down the inside of Jay Hings through the chicane. I don't think Cam's going to be able to do anything. He's going to hold it around the outside. Jay Hings going to hold it down the inside of the exit of the chicane. Gets the move done. Gets back out in front of Cam K. And back up into fifth position. Jordan now back up into third. Getting the move done on YHY as Ryan B back out in front of Harry F. Now on to the final lap of the race, and like I say, far from over by any means. Conor O'Keefe in the lead of the race, only 3 tenths up ahead of Matt Tibble, so it's those two jousting it out for the win of this race so far. Jordan, YHY, Jay Hings, Cam K all fighting for that final podium spot. The only problem for Cam, though, he's got 2 people in front of him that have a penalty, so he knows he's going to get the jump on the both of those, as Farrell has run out of fuel? No? Not sure what that was about. Maybe just try and build up a bit of his ERS, but here we go. Matt Tibos now all over the back of Conor O'Keefe as they make their way in towards the first chicane. Second DRS zone is about to commence, and Matt Tibos is going to have that. He's got the ERS as well. Conor O'Keefe, you can see the red flashing out in the back of his car. Oh, we're going to see a lead change go down. Is Conor O'Keefe going to be able to hold on? Is Matt Tibos going to be able to go for the move? He's going to go around the outside in towards the looping left-hander. Conor O'Keefe is going to try his best to hold it down the inside. Still side by side of him. A little bit of a tap between him and Matt Tibos. But Matt Tibos is the one that emerges out in front of him. White and Jordan both side by side now. Jay Hings and Cam K side by side. Ryan B and Harry are side by side. They're all still side by side of each other. Conor O'Keefe got the move back done on on Matt Tibos. Matt Tibos picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, so that's him out of it now. Matt Tibos, despite picking up the 3-second time penalty, despite leading for the majority of this race, Conor O'Keefe goes very wide out of the final corner, taps the back of Matt Tibos. Matt Tibos will pick up the win on track, but it will be Conor O'Keefe that takes the win this evening for round number 12. It'll be Jordan that will take third in the end. YHY and Jay Hings will drop behind Cam K. Cam K will pick up fourth. YHY fifth. Jay Hings in sixth. Harry F will take 7th. Ryan B in 8th. Hepula Boy in 9th. Matt and Rex in 10th and 11th. And MCR will take the final points position. What a scrap that was in that final lap. And wow, I almost lost my voice in all of that. Farrell, did he pick up the fastest lap? He certainly did. Is Corley Kicker going to be able to rob it from Farrell? Of course, none of them are going to be able to get the point. It's just robbing it off of anybody else. Let's have a look. Round the final corner comes Corley Kicker. And he picks up the fastest lap. So Farrell's efforts were all for nothing. And ends up finishing 13th and Corley Kicker getting 14th. Two of the other championship contenders 13th and 14th, YHY got himself up into, what was it, 5th, I think it was in the end for him. So, yeah, all really kicked off with that. But Conor O'Keefe taking the win this evening, especially after Matt Tibos picked up that penalty on the start of the double left-handers. Otherwise, that race was definitely his. And then third place going to Mr. Jordan JJT. Good, great battle between him and YHY and Cam and Jay Hinks throughout the entirety of that. But there is your final order for this evening for the feature or for the main race. Conor O'Keefe taking the win with Matt Tibos in second, Jordan in third. And there's your podium for this evening. Cam K takes fourth, with YHY in fifth, and extending out his championship lead up ahead of Farrell and ahead of Cordy Kicker by another 10 points to his name, and another point as well for the sprint race as well. So yeah, might have just gained a couple extra points from all of that going down as well. In fact, he did, purely because Farrell and Cordy Kicker didn't actually get themselves in the top 10. Jay Hings in 6th, Harry F in 7th, Ryan B in 8th, Happy the Boy in 9th, Matt's ran that top 10, Rex in 11th, MCR picking up the final points in 12th, Farrell, Cordy Kicker and Crack all not with any points. Crack DNFing early on in lap number 1 after a collision with Cordy Kicker. Meant that Cordy Kicker was basically out of any contention of points after making that late pit stop for that race. But that is all she wrote for round number 12. And as I said, it did not disappoint whatsoever. Championship well and truly on. Extra bit of extension for YHY, which I think he needed. He was starting to lose a little bit of sight from the other guys that was making a charge on him. So it's good to see that he's managed to pick up a couple extra points that he can just keep him at arm's length for the time being. But don't want to be missing out. Like I say, next week we are at Qatar for the first time in the League of Europe, so you do not want to be missing out on that whatsoever. Thank you to everybody that has tuned in for this evening. Make sure you guys are tuning in for Division 2 and Division 4 starting in approximately 20 minutes time. Division 2 covered by NSX Montana. Division 4 covered by QBR Verstappen. And then, of course, as I say, next week, Division 1 and Division 3 at 6:30 p.m. It will be BST still. The week after it won't be, but next week will still be in BST or British Summer Time, UK time. Division 1 covered by Oxide Nova and QVR Killer, and Division 3 covered by myself, and hopefully RJ will be back next week. We shall await and see. But like I say, thank you to everybody tuning in tonight, and we'll catch you guys next week for round number 13 around the Qatar circuit.